The final score, Wrexham 2, Bristol City 0, an excellent performance, and it feels satisfying as well, considering how we've tended to go against Bristol City over the last, 20 odd years, 25 odd. 9 losses and 2 draws in the last 11 clashes. So really nice for us to get a win against them, especially because they are a strong side who have done exceptionally well despite injuries biting into their squad. They've got key players coming back now, but that didn't stop us from, I would argue, designing a perfect game plan for this match and then executing it absolutely magnificently. So a couple of changes from the side that did so well without the ball at Ipswich, but wasn't quite as creative as it would have liked to have been. And those changes were in the front 2 positions. Kiefer Moore, fit enough to play, having got extra treatment over the weekend, and Nathan Broadhead, who looked so lively off the bench at his old club on Saturday, playing off Moore. And from the very start, the excellence of our setup was illustrated. Bristol City, true to the Austrian school coaching style of Gerhard Ströber, and oh my word, they pressed really hard in our half. Their press was well organised. They moved the ball around quickly. You can see how they could blow teams away in this division. You can see how they'll score goals by forcing errors in this division. They're a proper front foot team and good to watch. But we really set ourselves up beautifully to counteract that. Firstly, the way we knocked the ball around at the back and passed through the press was outstanding. The players kept their nerve. You've got to do that. This has been an issue in the past, in the last couple of years, as we've been going up to the division. Sometimes, usually in away games, you'll get caught out by an energetic high press. But wow, the work we did in our own half with the likes of Dobson and Sheaf and Cleworth. I shouldn't list players who made contributions. Broadhead dropping deep as well, but the way we zinged that ball around and moved it quickly and bypassed the press was just an object lesson in how to deal with that sort of front foot approach by the opposition. It was magnificent to watch. And at the other end, we pressed hard, we put pressure on, and we used Kiefer Moore judiciously. So we weren't just knocking long balls. It was tempting, I thought, before the match, bypass the press by hitting Moore early. We didn't just do that, but when we did hit him, we caused issues. He was holding the ball up, he was helping it on, and like I said, a key element here in the first half hour, Broadhead's movement and his ability to find space between the lines. As Andy Morrell said in the commentary, Bristol City's midfielders man-to-man in the middle of the pitch, which left them the issue then with more mobile and occupying the back 3, who picks up Broadhead. And he was buzzing everywhere. It seemed like carte blanche to play a free role. Number of times he popped up between Bristol City's midfield and defence in great positions, and he was a goal threat, as he showed when he opened the scoring, and he was a creative threat as well. It was a absolutely top level first half hour by him. We took the lead with the first real chance of the game, but you couldn't say that we didn't deserve it. 16th minute, good thinking by Hyam. There was a sharpness about Wrexham all night. Free kick, he takes it quickly. It's lovely communication. He isn't even on the ball when the free kick's given, and he comes across. McLean is standing on the halfway line, and he is obviously communicating with Hyam, either verbally or just through their looks. And McLean suddenly sets off on a sprint down the left. Hyam hits the free kick over the top of a defence that hasn't set itself up yet. McLean receives a good ball deep, brings it down, pulls it back to Thomason, who's running a furrow into the ground in that left channel, back and forth, and he helps it quickly on to Broadhead, just outside the D, and it's a classic Broadhead finish. Shifts it onto his right foot, textbook technique, curling it around Vitek and inside the right post. A brilliant finish by Broadhead, and he wasn't finished yet. He would continue to cause problems. 4 minutes later, Wrexham have a penalty shout, which a ref doesn't give. I think he's right not to give it, but it was a funny one. It's basically Dobson hitting that long ball to Moore, who is back to goal on the edge of the area, and Dickie, the centre-back, central to the three, comes across and pushes him over. Well, not in the eyes of the ref. I've got to be honest and say that it depends what angle you look at it. From my angle in the Wrexham Lager stand, it looked clumsy rather than a deliberate push. From actually the main camera angle, it looks like clumsiness. When you see the closer angle, I mean, it does put two hands on Moore's back and push him. I'm saying that's not a penalty. But I'm not saying that all officials would say it's not a penalty. I think if you're going to knock him over, I think you're better off running into him and making it look a bit more accidental. It's borderline if it was in or outside the box as well, to be honest. I think it might have just been outside as well. But either way, it was an indication that Moore, who gave them real problems last season, was threatening them again. A minute later, more danger. This time a great ball out from the back by Scar down the right flank, and Longman on the run with a brilliant touch, taking it down out of the air. He whips across the face of goal. He hits it into the ground and it goes fizzing across the goal. And Moore can't reach it, so if he gets there, he scores. Maybe he should have done. I don't think he expected Longman to deliver quite so early. Now the defenders, and it whizzed past. Also, Moore had just been complaining about that push in the back. Maybe he hadn't quite got his head around, right, let's get back in and attack the 6-yard box again. But it was a great ball in. And Wrexham keep going. Another minute later, another chance. Cleworth with a nice little studied header to find Broadhead, who's dropped deep. He hits a great long ball over to the right hand side and then goes on a lung busting run. So from being on the edge of his own area helping defend, he suddenly is the furthest Wrexham player forward. Moore is in a wrestling match with Dickie. Dickie grabs his shirt. Moore keeps going. Dickie gets ball between Moore and the ball. Moore shoves him and then plays the perfect through ball, and Broadhead is completely alone in the penalty area, straight down the middle. A sensational chance, but the lineswoman gives a foul against Moore, and looking at it again and again, it is a foul. Just wonder whether he could have been a little bit more subtle in the way that he made contact on Dickie, because Dickie was again being troubled by Moore. Bristol City get their first really decent opportunity on a breakaway. Thomason receives a header from Moore. It's not quite where he wanted to be. It comes off his chest and is intercepted and played forwards. And then it's a really nice piece of work by Hirakawa, who helps it on to Mehmedi in the left channel, and he's sprinting one-on-one against Okonkwo. It's a tight offside call, but I think it's the correct offside call. He's onside. Okonkwo, of course, is good on one-on-ones, comes out quickly, makes himself massive, not just big, and Mehmedi tries to drill it into the roof of the net, puts it over the bar. It's a bit closer than I thought it was initially, but he's probably better off trying to hit the corners than drive it into the roof of the net against the 6'7" keeper who's good at standing up. And so the danger is gone. In fact, from the goal kick, Wrexham carve out a fabulous chance to go 2-up, long goal kick. Moore wins it well, knocks it down, and Dobson feeds it inside to Broadhead in midfield, and then he goes on a great run through the middle. He and Thomas have made so many runs from deep positions. Broadhead plays an absolute worldie of a return pass, splits the defence wide open. Dobson is completely clear, one-on-one with the keeper, and tries to work it to the keeper's left hand and puts it about a yard wide. He'd be so disappointed not to at least work the keeper. Vitek's come out really quickly, and in a nod to his Man United's roots, he's on loan from them, does the Peter Schmeichel handball goalie thing, spreading his arms and legs, and yeah, Dobson realised maybe he just drilled it underneath like Kieran Durkin did at Old Trafford. And that was a game that we got to, of course, by beating Ipswich in the Cup, the only other time we played them apart from last Saturday. Irrelevant, but it makes me happy to mention it. So yeah, Wrexham don't take that chance, and there is an important point to be made here. Gerhard Stoiber is, like I said, a good tactical coach. He sets his teams out thoroughly, and he does make little alterations and tweaks during games that make a difference. And even though like I said, the first 30-35 minutes, we were dominant against a top team. They were always going to come back into it. Sturber finds the balance and starts to change the match, and the last 10 minutes of the half are very much Bristol City's. The thing, of course, is that this Wrexham team knows how to defend, and we managed to dig deep. Although we have to do a lot more penalty area defending than we did at Ipswich, for example, or Middlesbrough, for that matter, which I think tells you something about Bristol City's threat. The first bit of danger starts off rather scruffily, if I'm honest. It's a corner which is cleared. When it comes back in, there's a couple of lucky bounces on the edge of the area for City, but it drops in the end to Mehmedi, and he rips in a shot from the right channel just outside the box, which takes a horrible deflection in front of Okonkwo. Okonkwo can't hang on to it. It drops loose. Rees lunges in, and the ball spins to McCrory, who puts it into an open goal. The referee disallows the goal for a foul on Okonkwo. It's interesting on this. Bristol City were very angry about this decision, and talking to their press guy after. I've not heard what Sturber's got to say about the game, but he said he's very level-headed after the matches, and the only game decision he didn't like was this one, the disallowed goal. I've got to say, I felt at the time, and I stand by this, it's a clear foul on Okonkwo. It's nothing to do with the ball being knocked out of his hands. Don't think he ever has the ball under control. But Rees lunges in, understandably, because he's looking to win the ball and set up a goal. He kicks Okonkwo in the face, or makes enough contact on his face to certainly warrant a foul. And he interferes with Okonkwo, even if he's not kicked it out of his hands. It's a cast iron foul to me. I could not notice that McCrory didn't celebrate when he knocked it in there. He just tapped it in, jogged back to the halfway line. I don't think he thought it was a goal. There is another thing I have to point out, though. Part of the reason why Rees can't get to the loose ball before Okonkwo, and part of the reason why he is off balance and makes contact with Okonkwo, is that Dan Scarr does a beautiful, crafty job of holding on to his shirt. If you look back at it again, you can see both of them are completely off balance, sort of back to back, like an ABBA video. And Scarr is clever, he's cute, he keeps his arm in, so it's not obvious he's reaching out and pulling the shirt, but he doesn't let go. And Rees is off balance because of it. So if you were to ask me honestly, and I don't blame the ref for missing anything here, because you only get one chance to see it, and it was a bit of a scramble. If you ask me, is it a foul on Okonkwo? Yes. If you ask me, is it a penalty? Yes, I think it is, to be honest with you. So Wrexham are touch lucky. There was no luck a minute later when Bristol, who've been throwing out some massive handball shouts, some of which are about as mad as that R. Kelly opera. If you haven't seen it, look for some clips on YouTube. It's crazy. They're shouting for all sorts of that stuff. The most legitimate looking one they do get is a minute later. There's another ball into the box. Wrexham can't get it off straight away. Cleworth tries to drill a clearance, and it hits Dobson. Goes near his hand, definitely. And again, City are up, and the fans are up. It's not a penalty. He's too close to Cleworth. The ball's drilled at him hard into his hip and then bounces out. And although his arm's away from his body, he's moving his arm away from the ball, but the ball bounces off his body onto his hand. So, until this season, it was in the rules, wasn't it? If the ball comes off your body, it can't be handball. Now it's still generally seen that way. Just it's not a hard and fast rule. And secondly, looking at the replay, I'm not totally convinced it does touch his hand. But it's the most convincing of the handball shouts they had, and they had a good number of them, to be fair. I thought the ref did very well. Any Bristol City fan watching this, of course, will now be throwing stuff at their screen. But that's the nature of refereeing, isn't it? It's usually one side are unhappy with them, and if both sides are, they probably had a good game. Anyway, Wrexham goes straight up the other end, and again have a chance. It's a free kick stood up towards the edge of the box, and Moore gets up well, nods it down into the channel. McLean has got ahead of him. It's dropped on his right foot though, and so he has to try and scoop it in with it, by getting his left foot around, and he can't make proper contact on it. He scoops it over the bar. Frustration for Wrexham. Bristol City get one more opportunity at the half, and Randall finds Roberts coming forwards from centre-back. He drills a shot from about 20 yards, 25 yards, goes over the bar. And then in the last minute of added time, there's just a little moment of excitement by Wrexham, and Dobson feeds a good ball again down the right. Longman sticks a big looping ball into the far post, which I thought was going out, but it doesn't. It goes beyond the far post. Moore goes up thinking he might be on to something here, can't quite reach it, and McLean is right behind him, and I think he's unsighted by Moore going up, so he doesn't react till it's gone over Moore's head, and by that point it's too late and the chance is gone. So Wrexham 1 up at half-time, and good value for that lead, but Bristol City have clearly shown they are the sort of side who can turn games round. It's us who have the first chance of the second half, and it's another decent one. It's a free kick for Bristol City, stood into the box, much too close to Okonkwo, takes it comfortably, and then quickly delivers it out to the right-hand side. Dobson helps it quickly down the right. Like I said, Wrexham really playing at pace with the ball. Longman does well, carrying it forwards to drive the fullback back, but keeps his head up, spots Broadhead again, picking up nice space in the gap between midfield and defence, finds him. Again, Broadhead is snappy, he quickly helps her on. Thomason's made another great run, and he latches onto it in the left channel, touches it into the box, but then drills it over the bar. Within a minute, there's danger at the other ends. Scramble in the box. Starter and Sykes getting loads of space on the right side in the second half, and quite surprisingly got taken off after about an hour or so, because he was getting into some wonderful positions. He pulls the ball back in. Mehmedi tries to hit it around the corner towards goal. Kluwer sticks with him really well and gets a block where it ricochets. Reese looks offside, having seen it again, and maybe he isn't actually, to be fair. At the time I was astonished he wasn't given, and he, on the side of the 6-yard box, just basically just back heels it blind in to try and cause a problem. It ricochets around before finally we get it clear, but City recirculate it down the flanks again, get another dangerous ball in which Kluwer deals with well. It's sustained pressure, but like I said, Wrexham are really good at soaking up the sustained pressure and defending the box when we have to, and we managed to do so. And then it's Wrexham coming forwards, and this was an opportunity. Broadhead first, brilliantly wins a free kick. He's isolated up in the middle of the pitch. Got 3 players around him, and he holds it up. Great soft feet. Wins the free kick. Thomason races up and takes it quickly and puts Moore in down the left channel. Dobson makes a great run down the right channel and drags some defenders away, and Moore has a sight of goal. It's pretty much exactly where he hit that hat-trick goal against Cardiff, and he tries to do the same, drills it low across the keeper, and it goes just wide this time, not by much of the far post. It's a fascinating game now. Mehmedi drives in a nasty shot through a crowd, and Okonkwo does well to get down and get a firm parry onto it. Halfway through the half we make a couple of changes. Josh Windass coming on for Broadhead, Matty James coming on for Sheaf, and immediately those two add a little bit extra. They do very well. Windass is looking lively and inventive, and like Broadhead, picking up good areas to receive the ball in the opposing half. Matty James, just like I said, with Sheaf still getting his fitness right, is so useful in these situations. He just comes on and replicate Chief's quality, but with fresh legs, and James immediately is winning tackles, is getting up the pitch, and is often the most advanced of our centre mids, putting pressure on the ball. It's really good. A couple of minutes after that change, Wrexham nearly seal it. Great work by Dobson, who makes a good tackle and then feeds another good direct pass to Moore down the left channel. He cuts inside again, smashes it this time rather than looking for the bottom corner. It's a terrific parry by Vitek, but it drops to Windass following up. He's not able to get a proper contact, but he still puts in a testing shot from pretty close range. Vitek completes a brilliant double save, and when it drops loose, it looks for a moment like Windass is going to have an open goal tapping, and it just bounces across him, agonisingly out of his reach, and the chance is gone. But in the 75th minute, the decisive second goal comes. It's a corner on the right, and that's all I have to say. Sort of. Thomason rips a nasty ball in. He's looking for the far post. Vitek can't do anything about it. It hits the inside of the far post, ricochets back across the face of goal, hits Vitek on the back and goes in. It seems to have been ascribed to Vitek as an own goal. I think that's a bit of a shame, because Thomason deserved a goal for this performance. And if it's going to go in, it doesn't matter if it's just Vitek. If you shot from the inside the box, your shot's on target, deflects massively off a defender and goes in, you still get the goal. Well, if that's going in, let Thomason have the goal. I'm sure Vitek doesn't want it, but I'm not sure if that is going to be a decision. It's not clear really from the replays whether it is going to go in, I guess. But anyway, it's a goal. Wrexham don't mind. And we gain confidence from that and hold Bristol City well at arm's length, and on the break are looking really lively. We get a few good positions, only really take advantage of one of them. Good refereeing again. Moore is fouled. He spins Tanner and is running away from him. The defender grabs his shirt blatantly, but Moore keeps going. Referee allows him to, and when he feeds it into the edge of the box, Windass again in that left channel where we're popping up and making so many chances, drills it in, and this is a really good save by Vitek. Very strong hands to push it away and far out of danger. Sam Smith comes on for Moore, who's put in 81 excellent minutes, but having been doubtful coming into this game, I mean, he needs a little bit of a rest. We do have a game on Saturday, funnily enough, and Smith works hard as well, working the defence. The last chance of the game comes in the final of the 5 added minutes, and it is purely a matter of can Bristol City stop us keeping a 4th consecutive clean sheet, because the 4th consecutive home win is already in the bag, and they can't because Conquo excels. He's made a few good saves in added time, doesn't he, this season? Pring feeding it into the edge of the D. Mehmedi really nails a raking strike. It's really flying towards goal. Okonkwo does brilliantly to get his hands up and just tip it over the bar. Wrexham defend the corner well, and the final whistle goes. And Wrexham have another excellent result, and that league table is starting to look prettier and prettier, ain't it? I'm very happy with it. Great stuff from Wrexham. And, well, another home game to come on Saturday, and we're going to look forward to. Let's hope that we can find our form against a team who are phenomenally good away from home and are having a nightmare at home, Blackburn Rovers. Fascinating game. They all are in this league. It's great. Bring on the next one with a final score of Wrexham 1, Bristol City 0. I'm Mark Griffiths from Wrexham AFC.